Well, whenever you're ready to unmute, just tap the unmute button. It should be at the top, depending on whether you're on a desktop or a mobile extension. Just unmute yourself and chime in. I wanted to just do a quick dry run to see where people were at, because here's what I'm getting, right? So I've been doing this for a few years, and when I first got involved, for me it was like terminology. I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand the terminology. So what I would do is I would just watch tutorial after tutorial after tutorial and video and do courses, and I just stayed at it until I was able to grasp enough where I felt comfortable enough to start pushing buttons and seeing what happened. But I've noticed that uh, there's a lot of misleading happening. And although we don't know like what's really going to happen at the end of the day, none of us are God, right? So we can't really envision the way it's going to unfold. We can only speculate. We can only go on the information that's out there, right? And so I think lobster is an interesting thing. I don't know if I necessarily agree with some of the communities out there that are guaranteeing some of the seized asset stuff. I mean, I got into the whole craze of it at one point, and put thousands of dollars into it legitimately, and watched it go from an extremely high amount of money to like an extremely low amount of money. And I got involved with it knowing that I was taking a risk, right? Like I have a partner and we make decisions together. And so I want to kind of steer away from lobster, because a lot of people think lobster is the QFS, and I don't think so, not even by a long shot. I think uh, when Flare goes live, Flare will be holding all of the most important networks together in an interoperable kind of fashion. And so each network will have its own token, right? Its own native token that will be extremely valuable for whatever the use case may be. And then whatever additional, you know, uh, projects are launched on that network. On Lobster, I don't know how familiar you are with it, but there's hundreds, if not thousands, of assets that you can buy but just don't have liquidity, and they're labeled scam asset. Some of the communities say that's the cabal trying to prevent the good folks from, you know, getting into the good assets. But I don't know if I bite that. I don't know if I buy into that all the way. And so here at this channel, we want to focus on XRP, because we can prove XRP beyond a shadow of a doubt is definitely chosen, right? And so anything that goes with XRP, we want to get familiar with and learn to understand. Flare networks being the most important. A lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy went into developing the network. And so when that is officially live, which is in the next few days, week or two, perhaps, it's going to be a race to the top for real. And anyone who's actually participating in the network day one, the first 3 to 4 months, the rewards and dividends are going to be astronomical. They have treasuries set up specifically for the early adopters, right? And so I think it's mind blowing, the opportunity here. And I want to help, we want to help as many people as possible get a better understanding. How does that sound to you?
I'm looking forward to it.
Good. The seized assets are basically a parallel to the meek shall inherit the earth, so to speak. And maybe some of that is true, no doubt. For people who have no idea about digital assets, trying to get them to understand what digital assets is in an app where everything is labeled scam, buyer beware, okay? For me, it's too much information to try to get people to understand who Q is, what 1776 movement is, what's the Republic. So I like to kind of steer away from all of the speculative stuff and just focus on, let's buy our layer one assets, XRP, XLM, whatever, and let's learn what we can do with them, right? When that cookie crumbles, there's going to be a whole new system simultaneously coming online, and it's going to be decentralized. That means that there will be no one single point of failure, right? So that means anyone from anywhere can get on and leverage the same thing. As long as they know what they're doing, they can leverage the network. And so I think it's going to kind of happen simultaneously. And, yeah.
And I'm hoping that it fixes the world.
Well, me too. I mean, big time, me too.
I mean, isn't it a signal that, like, the white hats have the upper hand, or they're not really related?
Yeah. Well, listen, I buy into a lot of it. I buy into a whole lot of it. I mean, there's too many. Welcome, Blackhawk.
Hey, thank you, James. Glad to be here.
You're quite welcome. Yeah, we're just kind of familiarizing ourselves. I kind of just gave a little spiel to break down. Oh, we got another one. Cool. Well, I mean, I buy into the whole white hat thing. I don't believe in coincidences, right? A few years ago, when I first came into digital assets, I was recently, brand new sober, right? I had just gotten sober, and so my rabbit hole journey was, I mean, mind blowing every step of the way. And every time I learned something new, like we've been lied to about everything under the sun. We have to unlearn everything and relearn everything, right? But trying to have conversations with regular folks, it's like it's impossible. It's impossible. So I focus just on the tangible stuff. XRP, XLM, layer ones. What can we do to prepare when this cookie crumbles? How will we be able to right away start doing, leveraging and earning right away? So Lori was just breaking down where she's from. Does anybody else want to say where they're at and basically give us an understanding of what you know and what you'd like to know?
Well, this is Blackhawk. My name is Rob.
What's up, Rob?
I'm glad to be here, James, and you are just absolutely a blessing to me for doing this. And in the past, I have traded stocks and securities and options, that sort of thing. I consider myself a technical trader.
Cool.
So I watch for the charting signs and whatnot. But I'm interested to learn how Flare interacts with all this. I understand what XRP is, I believe, and XLM and XDC. I'm uncertain how Flare fits into this, so I'm anxious to see how that works out.
Awesome. Yeah. So Flare, in my honest opinion, everybody's waiting for like this magic quantum financial system button to be switched. I think that's Flare. I think it's Flare because the way that each one of these networks works is they have a very specific use case, and they're good at that one use case. But when you start trying to interoperate, right, then you're wrapping tokens and you're bridging assets, and what happens is you start losing security features, right? So Flare's initial vision was to connect the layer ones. I think initially it was XRP, XLM, Litecoin, and Bitcoin, right? And welcome, Mike. Thanks for showing your face. Not everybody is brave enough to do so. And so Flare's initially they were trying to do that with XRP, XLM, XDC, and Bitcoin. And then I think what happened is over the course of 2 years, the goalpost kept moving because Flare is one and the same with the plan, right? And so the goalpost kept moving, so they kept taking advantage of new features. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum were just beta tests, right? I think they were full-blown beta tests because Flare is doing something that no network has yet to been able to accomplish. And how is that possible? Well, I think there's a lot of money, a lot of energy, and a lot of very intelligent people behind the Flare network. I mean, you could just tell when you look at the website and you look at all the content that's out there. That's the other thing. I'm a part of like 3 communities. And so I'll take that information and I'll kind of make it edible and bite-sized for us to consume it here, and we can learn so that everybody else doesn't have to go and pay for a subscription. I don't think anybody should have to pay for this information. I mean, especially if we're looking to educate, inform, and push for adoption, we need to help as many people as possible. So, sending people out there to pay for it is just, it's backwards. Anybody else want to chime in? Feel free.
Yeah, I had read a little on it, and I came away thinking it allows networks to talk to each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it something to buy?
Well, yes. You'll have the opportunity to buy it. Well, basically, Flare Networks is the first network with the largest distribution and airdrop in digital asset history. Most of the people that will be receiving the airdrop had XRP in 2019, and they took a snapshot of our wallet, and for every one XRP, they're giving us 1.0234, whatever it may be, Flare.
So Flare isn't a token; it's like getting a share of a stock.
No, it is a token, but
the difference with
the difference with Flare is the more Flare you own, the more governance and voting power you'll have. They're calling this like a liquid decentralized democracy, first of its kind, right? So for every token you have that amount of voting power when amendments come up, when there's any kind of decisions to be made. And it doesn't matter if you have a small amount or a large amount, they don't calculate it like that through voting power. I think it's just mind-blowing what they're doing. Flare Network is the first network using the state connector, which is taking any information from Web 2, which is the regular internet, and being able to in real time insert that information for whatever the program function may be. Right? And so that's like mind-blowing. No network has been able to do that yet.
Hey, James, what's the ticker for Flare?
It was Spark, and then I think because there are other tokens and scam tokens trying to impersonate it, I think they changed it to FLR. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure CoinMarketCap, for anybody that's looking for a price feed for any one of these tokens, CoinMarketCap, I'll drop a link inside the room. CoinMarketCap is awesome. It's perfect for it. I mean, there's other ones, CoinPaprika, CoinGecko, but CoinMarketCap works fine.
Hey everyone, I'm Serena from Bermuda, and I'm a big XRP holder. I have some XLM. I watched your video with Mel, James, and that kind of made me interested in, Flare Network. And I think Songbird, I'm not sure the correlation between Songbird and Flare and how that all kind of comes together. I was a bit confused as to where we can purchase it. So that's why I'm kind of here, just trying to get a good understanding of how it all works.
Absolutely. Well, Songbird is the canary network for Flare. And what that basically means is they created a network with, instead of most of the networks, what they do is when they're doing a beta, they'll allow users to jump on and play with tokens that don't have value. But there's no real learning in that. So what Flare did was they created an additional airdrop for everybody that's getting Flare. They were airdropped a couple $100 of Songbird in order to test and leverage the network and get familiar with some of the features. So technically, Songbird is the baby brother to Flare, but they will both grow at the same rate, right? Because they'll continue to use Songbird as the test network. Before they deploy anything on the Flare network, they'll run it through Songbird first, work out any kinks and bugs, and then officially make it bridgeable to Flare. So it'll still be, it'll be like a rotating system. It's going to be mind-blowing the way it all works together. Yeah.
And this is running on is it running on the XRP or XRPL?
No, it's basically it's like one of the sidechain functions. That's why I kind of wanted to get a feel for where people were at knowledge-wise. Yeah, so it's kind of like a sidechain function. So it uses the EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine. So it's the same concept as Ethereum, but it's not on Ethereum. It's its own network. And that's why Flare is really cool, because it's taking its scalability from XRP. It's taking its consensus through Avalanche, and then it's taking smart contract function from Ethereum, right? So it's kind of bridging the best of all three of those networks. But most networks, when they go live, their whole goal is to make their token valuable. With Flare, that's not the case, right? Flare's job is to bring value back to that native digital asset, that native layer one. XRP is a layer one. Bitcoin is a layer one. XLM, it's a layer one, right? And so they have specific use cases, right, that they're good at. And so Flare's job is to bring additional use case to it in a way that doesn't steal value from that layer one. And so you'll be able to earn the Flare FLR token in a number of different ways on day one. On day one, I think there's 5 different ways you can leverage your XRP or your Flare if you're getting some, or your Songbird. There's like 4 or 5 different ways where you can create an additional income stream. Now that's a lot to take in, right? I have a couple people on the team, on our team, that have been playing around with Songbird for the past year. I mean, I've been doing it, right? But not as much as Cambrian Explosion and Dale. Like they've been like fully, involved, right? And so we're going to take all of their information and kind of cater to what everybody needs to kind of understand. The most important thing to understand day one is your XRP should not be sitting on any exchanges. Definitely not. The best place for your XRP is a Ledger, a Decent, an LEPAL, a hardware wallet. The second best place for your XRP is a software wallet, preferably the Sum app, XUMM. Okay, that is my go-to wallet for XRP. You can access the decentralized exchange. There's so many apps on there. There's so many decentralized apps on there, and they're coming full. They're going full steam with fiat on and off ramp directly in the Sum app. So you'll be able to go in and out of XRP directly with your bank account instead of having to jump on an exchange, buy a token, send it somewhere else, swap it, send it somewhere else.
What are
This
your
is
thoughts
pretty-
on XDC? Is XDC a good one as well as Stellar?
I love XDC. I love XDC. They got
Because it's
they
3
have a
cents
lot,
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah. My biggest, this is not financial advice. I'm not financial advisor, nor, do I plan, basically that's, you got to say that. I don't give financial advice. I'm just sharing with you guys what I'm doing. But that's XRP is my biggest bag. XLM comes second, and then XDC. Then I have a bunch of other tokens that are on XRP, that are on XLM. I also really, really like Atom, IBC, ATOM. That's a pretty cool network. Hundreds of other networks are building off of it. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Sologenic. You guys know what Sologenic is? Okay, Sologenic is the NFT marketplace for XRP. Sologenic is what everybody's saying Lobster is what Sologenic technically is. They have been under NDA trying to get licensed for commodities, treasuries, stocks, bonds, tokenizing everything. So they're tokenizing everything on the XRP ledger with a new token called Sologenic. And that's like a whole nother separate video we'll do. But if you hold Sologenic on your Sum wallet, you'll get Corium every month in an airdrop. And if you get Corium every month in an airdrop, after the 13-month airdrop, it turns into, for every 1 Corium you'll hold, you'll get additional on the next airdrop for another 36 months. So I think it's important to the end game, but we don't have to talk about that right now. It's too much to try to get into and try to bring people up to speed on. I think the most important thing we could be doing is taking our XRP, moving it off of any exchange we have it into a hardware or a software wallet. I also put the Bifrost wallet inside the Telegram group, because the Bifrost is where we will be leveraging Songbird, Flare, and XRP as well. So everybody should download themselves the Bifrost wallet, and kind of get familiar with it. That's where we're going to be doing most of our smart contract delegations. Yeah.
Do these interact with the Nano?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Nano is one of the biggest hardware wallets out there. And so I think anything that's really important, I mean, this is such a nuanced type space that it's taken a few years for things to shake out, but I think there's a good grasp on everything that's happening right now. Yeah.
Hey, James, question for you.
Yeah.
As far as Ledger is concerned, I'm able to move XRP onto Ledger. Not very good success with XLM. Does the Ledger network only accept XRP?
No, definitely not. Which ledger do you have? You have the S or the X?
I've got the Nano X, but I'm talking about Ledger Live.
Okay.
So I've got some XLM, not a lot, just some, sitting in Uphold right now.
Okay. Yeah, we'd like to try to move that for you. Yeah, so there's probably something. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're fine. If I try to move it, it wants to convert my XLM into XRP. Then I can move it. That's not a problem. But then I don't have any XLM. So, for example, XTC or this Flare or Songbird, whatever we get
Yeah.
whatever we talk about here, can that all be downloaded without some sort of convoluted process into the Ledger Live?
Yeah, absolutely. See, what I do is I have an account with Coinbase, an account with Kraken, an account with Qcoin, and an account with Bitrue. And because each one of these exchanges offers different tokens, so I use my Coinbase account. I'll always buy my XLM on Coinbase with my debit card, right? Because when you use a debit card to make the purchase, you can swap it right away and send it off the exchange. So I use my debit card, buy XLM, and then I'll send XLM to any one of those exchanges. Technically, I'd like to use XRP, but because XRP was delisted on so many exchanges, XLM is the next best thing to use because it's fast, it's cheap, and it can be scaled. And so I'll send XLM to either a centralized exchange or a decentralized exchange, depending on what I'm trying to swap for. And then whatever I swap for, I'll then send directly to my Ledger or my Descent. Now, if you can't send it off of Uphold, there can be two possible reasons that is. What you should do is you should set yourself up a Coinbase account, right? And use your Coinbase account to purchase whatever asset you need. Normally, we'll need XLM, and then we'll send XLM to wherever we need to send it to in order to swap for any one of those other tokens.
Okay, I think I understand, but I'm a visual learner, so maybe we're gonna get the whiteboard or push a board black paper and just start drawing things on there and see how things interact.
Yeah, no doubt. Listen, when I first started this, I'm only doing this 3.5 years, 4 years. When I first started doing this, man, I was so overwhelmed with terminology. It took me 8 months before I even moved value because I was just too scared with everything that I heard. Don't send it. You got to double check. You might lose. If you lose it, it's definite. You can't get it back. And so, believe me, I've gone through it. The whole point of this channel is to try to alleviate some of that for you if we can. You know what I mean? Because I know I get it. Really, I do. I know Ledger is. Do you know how to set up each wallet on the Ledger? Like you have your Ledger and you have to set up before you even move an asset to it. You have to make sure that you set up the wallet inside the Ledger.
So all I've got is XRP on Ledger because I was able to move that pretty painlessly.
That's good.
Other than, I do have a fair bit of XRP, but so it's in the Ledger, it's safe, I think, and everything else. But
that's good.
That's all that's on there. But I'm interested in obviously XLM and XTC and Flare and whatnot. So
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's what we'll do is we'll focus. I'll talk to Dale and see if we can get some kind of because a few weeks ago we decided to try to start doing like a crypto whiteboard situation because we figured that people are visual learners and it would make it a lot easier. And then it became so it became a lot to try to produce those videos, and I felt like we were losing ground and we were losing people. And so what we'll do is we'll come up with a way to make some really quick and easy tutorials to get you through those first few steps. But the most important thing you should do is download the Sum XUMM app and download the Bifrost. They're both going to come in handy for us. And when you don't have access to your ledger, right, your hardware wallet, it's great to be able to just jump right into your Sum and send something out or send something in. Also, another point I wanted to make. I have one of my hardware wallets that I just have XRP on. I remember David Schwartz. You know who David Schwartz is? The CTO? Yep. Okay. So I think he had mentioned just recently that if you have a hardware wallet that you only sent XRP to and you haven't done anything else with, that wallet is technically quantum resistant. And so when I heard that, right, it made me say, well, I'm going to get an extra ledger just to put XRP on it and nothing else, so I can keep it, even that much more secure. I'm only saying that because I'm always looking for ways. To try to make things, safe and secure. Like this right here is a Faraday bag, right? And what this does is this protects against any kind of solar electromagnetic pulses, no signals. Yes, touche. Definitely very important thing to have, especially not knowing how these attacks and these collapses are going to happen. I keep those handy, arm's distance, just because I got to throw a phone or a tablet right in there right away.
But is Flare a coin, or is Flare like Lobster? Is it a platform or is it a coin?
It is the platform, and it is a token as well. I think Flare is very, very, very important to this new system that we're all waiting for. I think Lobster is waiting for some kind of an upgrade. I think that's coming from when Flare goes live, because Flare's job is to basically bridge all of these important networks and make it very seamless in order to move from network to network. Because right now it's not. You have to really be savvy to kind of be able to jump from network to network and do it right and do it safe, secure. You got to know what you're doing, otherwise you're going to get lost and eaten alive. So I think Flare is the key component to this new system we're all talking about. Yeah, you'll have an opportunity.
So before you sign off, can you tell us how to get involved there?
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to do. Right now, we're waiting for the network to be sufficiently decentralized in order for Flare. They went live July 4th, technically, and they're doing an observation mode, which means that they're onboarding all of the essential data aggregators. And they want to do that so that when they detach their validators and they're not keeping the network going, the network can run sufficiently on its own, right? So that will make it officially decentralized. At that point, they will airdrop to all the XRP holders who participated in that snapshot. They'll airdrop to us Flare, the Flare token. And then at that point, our job will be to move that Flare to a wallet that we're going to be using moving forward. And this way, every month for the next 35 months, our airdrop will go directly there. Now, there's a lot of folks that aren't getting that airdrop, right? And so that means you guys will have the opportunity to buy, because most of the people who get that airdrop, not most, probably there's a 50-50 shot that half of the people are going to sell the airdrop and half of the people are going to take it and delegate it in order to get the remaining airdrops. And so there will be an opportunity right at go time. If you don't have Flare, you'll be able to buy Flare. What we want to do now is get you familiar enough with your XRP and your Bifrost and your Sum wallets that you'll be able to do all these things on your own when it's go time.
Okay. Okay. Do we know when go time is?
Well, I tell you the truth, it was supposed to be about a week ago, and it's kind of been pushed back for whatever the reason. I think they found another bug that had to be worked out. I love that about the network. Anything that comes up right away, they address it and you know, expose it. Right. So something just happened a few days ago with some colluding with a couple of the data aggregators that were on Songbird, and they got exposed. They got exposed, and because it's a decentralized network, you know, they had the opportunity to speak on their behalf, and some did, some didn't. Que sera, sera. But the network should be going live for us as participants within the next 2 weeks, I'd say 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
I will be moving forward. Moving forward, I'll be inside my my office, and it'll be complete silence, and we'll be able to really get to the nuts and bolts, the crux. You know what I mean? Anything else? Anybody?
We should look for the next meeting date in Telegram.
Yeah, I'm gonna start posting some stuff in there for you guys. I wanted to just kind of get an understanding of where everybody's knowledge was and where I needed to start. Right? Like, I mentioned before, I'm a part of 2 or 3 really good Patreons. But if I'm getting the information and I can bring it in and share it with you guys here in a more digestible way, you shouldn't have to go and pay for the information yourself. So that's the goal. The goal is to get you the information without you guys having to pay for it. I am steering clear of the lobster stuff for now because there's plenty of people out there doing that and seem to have a good understanding of what that is. I don't know what lobster is. I have a lot of those assets. I kind of jumped in head first at one point and put a lot of money into it, and you know, it hasn't turned out so beneficial for me, but I'm going to wait and be patient to see how that shakes out. Apparently that's supposed to be a very important part to this system. Time will tell for sure, and I'm not going to sell any of those, but there's plenty of networks that, you know, there's plenty of communities that will give us the information on that. I want to steer clear of talking about lobster stuff just because I have some feelings about that platform. I mean, I saw something yesterday that kind of blew my mind. Something about a Project Bluebeam token. It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to confuse you guys. We're going to focus on XRP, XLM, XRP, Flare, Songbird, and of course we could focus on XLM, but not the lobster aspect of it, right? We want to stay away from the lobster aspect of it. We can keep our XLM on a hardware wallet just the same. You can keep it in lobster. I have some in lobster as well, but I don't want to talk about all those thousands of different assets that have scam labeled on them, and it's just too much to get into and try to explain, and it doesn't make sense to me, a lot of it. Yeah.
So is my Trezor wallet okay?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm at the bottom rung, but I'm happy to learn.
Awesome. Listen, there's stuff that I don't know. So by doing this, creating this community, we're gonna share with each other, and we're gonna help each other get there. Mm-hmm. Straight up. This is something that's divinely guided, through God. All right? God is the most important thing in my life today. You know, our Savior, our Redeemer, Jesus Christ. That's the keystone, baby. That's the keystone. Mm-hmm. And so this is directly guided from God. Right? Sure. When I got sober, this whole thing came into fruition because I just one step at a time continued to move in the right direction. So I think we're all in a really good place together.
Great. Thank you so much, James.
Absolutely. It's an honor to be with you guys, and I'm super excited to develop content and learn together and grow together, because this is going to be a fantastic journey, hands down.
Great.
Really appreciate it. Means a lot.
Awesome. I'm honored.
All right. God bless you. We'll see you.
I will. I'll be active inside the Telegram, and we'll go from there. We can probably do stuff on Telegram and with calls too. Dale, he's he does Bible studies and he teaches Bible courses, right? So his weekends are really jam packed with stuff like that. But he'll join us throughout the week, and if he can on the weekends every so often. So yeah, we'll reconvene inside the Telegram group and go from there.
Sounds great, brother. Talk to you soon.
Have a
All right.
good
God
Sunday.
bless everyone. God bless
Thank you.
everyone.